Hi, everyone. This is CoStar News Hotels News Editor Sean McCracken. This episode of the podcast was recorded live at the America's Lodging Investment Summit in Los Angeles. Visit us at costar.com/hotel news for the video version of this podcast, along with all of our ALIS coverage. Hi, everyone. News Editor Sean McCracken here, the second day of the America's Lodging Investment Summit with Sloan Dean, former CEO of Remington Hospitality.
That's right.
Current host of the aptly named Not Done with Sloan Dean.
That's right.
I'm glad that your name is Sloan Dean, otherwise that title would work out a lot worse. So Sloan, obviously you've been all around the conference today, thankfully finally getting here after almost getting stuck in Dallas. What's the vibe you're picking up today?
I think the vibe, I would say, is it feels very similar to last year. I think everybody wants to be optimistic. Last year was a bit of a disappointment, both top line and bottom line. Some serious headwinds. AI is obviously all the talk, all the rage, but I think we're in an industry where the benefits and how it's going to impact the industry hasn't fully been felt yet. And so there's a bit of optimism around AI, but anxiety at the same time, that nobody is really using it in a transformational way yet. But so I think apprehensive optimism, hoping 26 is better than 25. It feels a lot like 25 with maybe a little more AI sprinkled in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like there's maybe a little bit more of a cloud this year as it compared to last year because there was a little more outright optimism. I think maybe the weather's impacting that because, like we were just talking about before the cameras were rolling, obviously attendance is significantly noticeably down because like you did yesterday, so many people had a hard time even getting in here. Maybe that's a metaphor for things in general, maybe not. But there is this hope that, like, if nothing else, this year is going to be different just because we're coming in with lower expectations. We can't have all the craziness of last year, and there's things to pin our hopes on.
Well, and the Trump administration had not really taken over yet, right? So I think you rewind the tape last year, everybody expected an administration that's going to be far more pro-business. They expected interest rates to start coming down faster than they have. And they didn't expect, no one knew about tariff on off, and some of the whiplash that we've gone through. As I said on my panel today, we have been really good, unfortunately, this year as a country of exporting travelers and importing uncertainty. And that really has had an impact on our industry probably more than others. So I think that's where the tone is a bit different, that we're still in this period where RevPAR's retracted for a couple quarters. Interest rates aren't precipitously falling, although they've come down some. And people are, wishing things were a little bit better.
So obviously, like you mentioned, you were in a lot of meetings today. The point of a show like ALIS is generally getting deals done. Do you feel like the environment's there to get deals done, even if not as many people are here trying to get deals done?
I feel like sellers are stuck in 2022 and buyers are looking out and underwriting for 2026. And so I think naturally as interest rates come down, that will facilitate more transactions. I think most of the transactions that'll happen, or at least seem like they'll happen, are more either driven via distress or debt maturity or CapEx requirement. So it's more hey, I don't want to reinvest in this property, let me go ahead and exit. There definitely is still a bid spread between buyers and sellers, and that hasn't closed as much as I think is necessary to see transaction volume uptick. But, transaction volume in the last 2 years has been pretty anemic. So I would hope that for all of us, that's a high hope there, that transaction volume is better in 26. But I think a lot of it's going to be predicated on interest rates and, do we see some type of pullback in the stock market, and, are we going to see some more stability coming out of the administration over this next 2026? So we'll see. I don't think it gets a lot worse, or I hope not.
Well, I mean, maybe that's just more of this sense of just hoping that it's less bad this year, right? Like, it's not a floodgates opening year. It's just hoping things are less
I don't think there's a catalyst. I think the catalyst is, AI coming into hospitality and improving the margins of hotels, transforming how we operate hotels. helping facilitate more travel demand. And I think that does happen over, the 3-5 year horizon. That's why I'm very much an optimist over the mid and long term. I just don't know if it all happens in 26.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so before we sign off, where can everybody find more of your
insights? The absolutely free solicitation. No, you can go to Not Done on LinkedIn or sloandean.com, but we're on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and always talking hospitality and tech. And thanks for letting me be on.
Absolutely. And find more of our coverage of ALIS at costar.com/hotel news.
Hello, I'm Luke Haynes, People Newsletter Editor CoStar News, and the host of Top Credentials, a monthly podcast exploring the colourful careers of those working at the top of UK commercial real estate. In the episodes, we discover the valuable lessons influencing the daily decision-making of property sector leaders, and hear about the aspects of their job that make it a little easier to get out of bed each morning. We'll also ask for their views on the latest news and policies shaping our constantly evolving industry, and even get them to share a famous quote or song title they think defines their career or the profession. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode of the CoStar News Hotels podcast was recorded on January 27th, 2026, and recorded by Meredith Sheridan. It was edited for audio by Sean McCracken. Find all of our podcasts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or your platform of choice. Find more news at costar.com/hotel news.